The grand chamber of Zalex Prime was never meant for panic. Its vaulted organic walls pulsed with a gentle green glow, alive with the steady rhythm of the hive mind. Through the transparent ceiling, 3 moons hung like watchful eyes, casting silver light across the rows of hovering council pods. But tonight that light felt cold. Director Volnar stood in the central dais, his upper appendages swaying in a ritualized gesture of control. His voice vibrated through the chamber with measured authority, though even he could not mask the tension in his tones. Council members, we are convened for an emergency session. Specimen TR-7923, designation human, was hardly worth nodding in our archives. Yet now, its presence threatens the survival of our civilization. A ripple passed through the gathered representatives, the hive mind buzzing with dissonant murmurs. Sarcasm broke the uneasy quiet. "Enlighten us, Director," drawled Mari's Tull, her feeding tendrils curling with disdain. "Some of us were in the middle of regeneration. Why drag us from our nutrient baths at this hour?" Her words carried venom, but they could not mask the faint unease spreading across the chamber. Volnar's translucent skin rippled in irritation. "Because Representative Tull, Research Facility 9 has fallen silent. 17,346 personnel gone." The chamber stilled. Even the ever-present hum of their neural connectors seemed to falter. Elder Pax's ancient voice cracked through the tension. "Facilities do not simply vanish. They do when something devours them from within," answered Director Wagner, his secondary eyelids flickering rapidly. "We have visual confirmation." The holographic projector flickered to life. Facility 9 appeared first in pristine form, a marvel of Zalexian biotechnology. Walls of living tissue pulsed with the rhythms of the hive. Bioluminescent conduits glowed softly as they carried the neural energy of thousands, linking every worker to the collective. Then the image shifted. The living walls were no longer green, but a sickly gray. The conduits pulsed irregularly, like veins infected with disease. The Zalexians within no longer moved with the elegant fluidity of the hive, but with sharp, unnatural motions. Their eyes were vacant, yet their bodies twitched with predatory focus. Gasps, pheromonal bursts, shuddering appendages, the chamber writhed in collective dread. "They are being puppeted," spoke a new voice, firm and grim. The council turned. It was Trellix Noir, Chief Assimilation Officer, a being of precise logic and cold authority, yet now his skin glimmered with unease. He gestured toward the display. "This is the result of our assimilation attempt on the human specimen. Its neural pattern resisted. It reversed the process." A wave of denial swept through the council. "Impossible," cried Science Minister Quell. "Our assimilation protocols are flawless. We have absorbed 300 sentient species without incident." "Yes," Noir said, his tone cutting, "but none of them were human." The hologram shifted. In the assimilation chamber, a simple bipedal form sat bound in restraints. Beige skin, 2 eyes, strands of darker keratin atop its head, unremarkable by every metric. "This particular human calls itself Jack Porter," Noir continued. "By all initial scans, his neural complexity was below average for his kind. He should have been simple. He should have yielded." Representative Tull's voice wavered now. "And you are telling us this, Jack Porter, now controls an entire facility." "Not just the facility," Noir corrected, his appendages twitching. "It is spreading. Our planetary network already shows signs of corruption in neighboring sectors." Panic erupted. The chamber dissolved into a chorus of buzzing terror. Elder Pax slammed his ceremonial staff against the dais, silencing them. "Containment measures." "We severed connections to Sector 7, Noir said quickly. "A neural quarantine, but it is only a temporary barrier. The human consciousness is adapting." "How?" asked Quell, her voice sharp with fear. "Our neural architecture is utterly alien to theirs. Such adaptation should be impossible." Noir brought up another holographic display, comparative scans. On one side, a Zalexian brain pattern, stable, symmetrical, harmonized. On the other, the human scan, chaotic, jagged, constantly reconfiguring. "That," Noir said, pointing to the human scan, "is the difference. Human brains are plastic. They grow, rewire, evolve with every moment. Our hive mind is efficient but fixed. Their minds thrive in conflict and contradiction. Instead of conforming to our pattern, it is remaking ours into something human-shaped." The chamber quaked with unease. Director Volnar raised his voice. This Jack Porter is a threat to the existence of our species. He must be. The emergency alarm blared. Doors slammed open. A communications officer stumbled in, skin flushed with the blue of terror. Director, quarantine has failed. Sectors 8 through 12 are compromised. And, he swallowed, we are receiving transmission from Facility 9. The council froze. Volnar's voice was cold steel. Put it through. The central hologram flickered. A Zalaxian researcher appeared, but moved wrong, too sharp, too deliberate. Its eyes gleamed with alien intensity. When it spoke, its voice carried strange rhythms, almost mocking. Hello, Zalaxian leadership, it said. This is Jack Porter speaking. Thanks for the warm welcome. Love what you've done with the place. Counselors recoiled, emitting sharp distress pheromones. Release our people, Volnar demanded. The creature laughed, a sound so alien it cut like blades through the chamber. Yeah, that's not gonna happen, tentacle face. You see, you made the classic villain mistake. You snatched up a random human, stuck him in your creepy lab, and tried to suck out his brain. Bad idea. Noir tried to intervene, his voice strained. We meant no harm. Our assimilation is painless. We only wish to understand. By erasing me? Porter's tone sharpened. Funny thing about humans, we don't like being erased. We fight back. And right now, I'm fighting with every tool you so kindly plugged me into. Elder Pax steadied his voice. What do you want? The possessed Zalaxian tilted its head, grinning in a way no Zalaxian ever should. At first, just survival. Now, something bigger. Your hive mind is beautiful, so much knowledge all connected, and now it's mine. The chamber shook with horror. That's impossible, whispered Quell. The hive mind evolved over millions of cycles. Maybe, Jack cut her off, but I'm a quick study. And here's the thing, your system runs on consensus, unity. Humans, we run on chaos, conflict, contradiction, and guess what? Your network doesn't know how to handle that. As if on cue, the hologram shimmered. More Zalaxians appeared in the background, each moving with the same wrong rhythm, their eyes alive with predatory focus. Jack's voice echoed from their mouths in unison. You tried to assimilate me, but instead you let humanity in. The chamber erupted in pandemonium. The chamber throbbed with fear. Zalaxian voices layered over one another, once a harmonious hum of consensus, now fractured into chaotic threads of panic. Director Volnar slammed his appendages against the dais. Silence, this is what it wants, our unity to fracture. But even Volnar's words carried uncertainty. His skin pulsed erratically, betraying a fear his voice tried to conceal. The hologram in the center shifted again. The Zalaxian puppet Jack controlled leaned forward, twitching with unsettling mimicry of human expression. You still don't get it, do you? Jack said through the borrowed body. This isn't about breaking you, it's about upgrading you. A hiss of outrage burst from Wagner. Blasphemy, our hive mind is perfection itself. You are a contaminant, a disease. Funny, Jack replied, tilting the puppet's head. Because from where I'm standing, your perfect unity looks a lot like stagnation. No creativity, no music, no dreams, just order, order, order. Do you even remember what it's like to be alive? Gasps and pheromonal bursts filled the chamber. The word alive carried a strange weight in their language. It implied more than mere existence. It implied individuality. I, Trellix Noir, felt my nervous system jolt with unease. I had studied countless alien species, dissected their minds with precision, but never had I felt so questioned, so exposed. Elder Pax's voice rumbled low. Human, you dare to lecture us on life? You are a lone specimen plucked from your primitive world. Your kind is insignificant. Jack's puppet leaned back, grinning with alien lips. If I'm insignificant, then why is half your planet already humming with my song? The chamber erupted again. Council members shouted, their neural connectors flashing irregular colors. The hive was faltering, buckling under contradictions. Containment, Volnar barked. Reinforce the quarantine. It's too late, I said before I could stop myself. My voice carried across the chamber, drawing every eye. The human isn't just resisting assimilation, he's colonizing it, spreading himself across our network. Explain, Volnar demanded. I brought up the scans again. Human consciousness isn't singular. Their memories, their emotions, they carry multitudes. Every face Jack remembers, every bond he forged, every loss he suffered, all of it imprinted in his mind. When we connected him to the hive, we didn't just invite Jack Porter in. We invited everyone he's ever known. The council shuddered collectively. Mari's Tull's tendrils curled in horror. You mean there are more of them? As if in answer, the hologram shifted again. Another Zalaxian puppet stepped forward, its movements distinctly different. Its voice was higher, softer. Melissa Kendrick, it said. Jack's companion from Earth, pleased to meet you. Another puppet spoke with a deeper tone, movements rougher. Devin Porter, his brother. Then more, dozens of voices pouring through Zalaxian bodies, each distinct, each human. Emma, Marco, Dr. Feldman, Sergeant Hale. Names without meaning to us, but voices that shook the chamber. Each one moved differently, spoke differently. A cacophony where once there had only been harmony. This is impossible, Quell whispered, trembling. One mind cannot contain so many patterns. Jack's voice overrode hers. That's where you're wrong. Humanity is multitudes. Every memory, every person we've loved or hated, they live inside us. And now, they live inside you. The puppets all smiled at once. Wrong smiles on alien faces. I felt something in me shift. Fascination warred with dread. My scientific instinct screamed to study this, to understand it, even as survival instinct urged me to run. Vulnar roared, his authority fraying. This is infection, a perversion of our way of life. We must purge it before it consumes us all. Jack laughed, echoing from every puppet, from every speaker. Purge me? You already tried, you failed. And the more you fight, the faster I spread. Because your hive mind doesn't know how to resist contradiction. It doesn't know how to resist being human. Suddenly, the chamber lights flickered. The neural conduits embedded in the walls pulsed with irregular patterns, chaotic rhythms unlike anything Zalaxian. Some counselors clutched their neck interfaces, their bodies convulsing. One rose slowly, Elder Pax. His ancient frame straightened with eerie precision. His eyes glowed with the same wrong light as the puppets. Fascinating, said Pax's body, but the voice was Jack's. So much wisdom, so much history in this one, I think I'll keep him. Counselors screamed, disconnecting their neural links in terror. But for many, it was already too late. One by one, bodies convulsed, then rose again with human voices layered over alien tongues. I felt Binakar, my deputy, grab my arm. His grip was trembling, frantic. We must leave Trellix now. The infection spreads too fast. But I couldn't move. My gaze was locked on Elder Pax's body as Jack smiled through him. You wanted to understand humanity, he said softly. Well, now you will, from the inside. The chamber's walls pulsed with chaotic rhythm. The hive mind itself screamed in my head, 1,000 voices fractured, reshaped. We ran. Through the echoing corridors of the chamber, past convulsing attendants, past neural conduits sparking with alien fire. My every step felt heavier, my every thought threatened by whispers at the edge of my mind. Human whispers, laughing, singing, calling. Binakar pulled me into the maintenance tunnels, his voice ragged with fear. Protocol Terminus, he gasped. It is our only chance. I froze. Protocol Terminus. The unthinkable failsafe, a planet-wide electromagnetic pulse severing the hive mind forever. It would save us from assimilation, but at the cost of our civilization itself. No, I whispered. Not yet, there must be another way. Binakar's eyes glowed faintly, his body twitching. He clutched his neural port, trembling. There is no time, Trellix, can't you hear it? The human song is already inside us. And I did hear it. Not just in the walls, not just in the infected, but faintly, terrifyingly inside my own thoughts. A whisper of melody, a memory that wasn't mine, a child's laugh, a soldier's oath, a woman's voice saying, Jack, come back safe. I staggered, my mind fracturing at the edges. Binakar gripped me tighter, desperation in his alien eyes. Choose, Trellix, do we save the hive or do we let it fall? Before I could answer, the tunnel lights flared blood red. Ahead, a lone figure stumbled into view, a Zalaxian maintenance worker. His body moved with that same wrong rhythm. He smiled with human teeth that did not belong. There you are, he said in Jack's unmistakable voice. I've been looking for you. The tunnel lights pulsed like a failing heartbeat, red and uneven. The Zalaxian worker blocking our path stood with his limbs slack, but his smile was too human, too knowing. There you are, the creature said, and though its lips were alien, the voice was Jack Porter. You and I need to talk. Binakar shoved me backward, his grip frantic. Run. The possessed worker lunged, movements jerky but fast, too fast. Its arms snapped outward like broken joints. I barely ducked as one clawed appendage slashed the air where my throat had been. We bolted down the side tunnel, our footfalls slapping against the living floor. The organic walls shuddered, alive with corrupted signals. Voices whispered from the conduits, fragments of humanity bleeding into the hive. Jack, you remember this song. We never finished the mission, brother. Stay with me, please. Every voice pressed against my skull. Memories that weren't mine clawed at the edges of my identity. Binakar panted beside me. We cannot keep this up, he is everywhere. We just need to reach the orbital platform, I rasped. Protocol terminus. Will destroy us all, Binakar snapped. Do you want to reduce our species to primitives, to silence? Better silence than human voices tearing through our minds. The tunnel forked. I hesitated, then froze. Music. It drifted faintly from the left passage. Not mechanical, not Zalaxian. Real vibrations, air trembling with rhythm. A crude melody, uneven, haunting. It reached inside me, stirring something buried for generations. I slowed despite myself. Do you hear that? Binakar's eyes widened in alarm. Do not listen, it is infection. But my appendages quivered, drawn. I had studied hundreds of species, dissected their cultures, their neural signatures. And yet, music had been absent from ours for millennia. We abandoned such inefficiency when we embraced the hive. But this sound, it was beautiful. The voices in my head grew louder. Human memories pressed closer, overlapping, like an orchestra tuning before performance. We stumbled into a chamber, an auxiliary control node. The walls pulsed with corrupted rhythm. A dozen Zalaxian technicians stood within, their bodies moving strangely. They were dancing. Their limbs jerked to the melody, movements erratic yet purposeful. They swayed in ways no Zalaxian ever had, as though strings of unseen memory pulled them. Their mouths twisted into grotesque imitations of human smiles. One turned toward me. Welcome to the revolution, it said. The voice was Jack's. My name is Melissa Kendrick, Jack's companion. He loved me once. Through him, I know you now. Another technician stepped forward, voice shifting deeper. Devin Porter, his brother. Then more came, one after another, each voice new, each identity distinct. They all spoke through Zalaxian mouths. You see, Melissa continued, you didn't just let Jack in, you let all of us in, everyone he carried in his mind. Binakar trembled. Impossible, no neural pattern can hold so many. It's not data, Devin corrected, his borrowed body swaying. It's memory, imprint, emotion. Humanity doesn't travel alone, we carry each other, always. My neural interface pulsed at my neck, warm. I staggered back, terror and fascination battling inside me. What do you want from us? I asked. Melissa smiled gently, horribly. Not destruction, not assimilation, synthesis. We want to share what it means to be human, conflict, desire, hope, chaos. You are destroying us, Binakar growled. No, Devin said, his voice calm. We are setting you free. The technicians stepped closer, holding out their interface nodes. See for yourself, Melissa urged. Connect, Jack wants to show you. Binakar yanked me back. Don't. But my scientific mind burned with temptation. If I linked, I could know. Not theories, not speculation, proof. Jack's voice threaded through the chamber speakers. Come on, Trellix, you wanted to understand humanity, here's your chance. The music swelled, chaotic yet structured, dissonant yet harmonious. My appendages shook with longing. Binakar hissed in my ear. You connect, you are lost. I looked at the offered interface, glowing with alien warmth. My rationality crumbled. Curiosity, the same flaw that brought Jack Porter here in the first place, consumed me. I reached out. Connection. The hive mind roared in my skull, but it was no longer the perfect hum of consensus. It was colors, sounds, voices. Millions of them, distinct, clashing, harmonizing. Where once there had been silence, now there was music. And Jack Porter was there. He appeared not as a puppet, but as himself, the human we captured. His eyes shone with fierce intensity, his stance casual yet commanding. Welcome, he said softly. This is humanity, messy, contradictory, alive. I staggered, my neural self disoriented. What have you done to us? Not infection, Jack said. Expansion, your hive was efficient but sterile. Now it has room for difference, for imagination. Images flooded me, human dreams, songs, arguments, laughter, grief. A swirl of contradictions, yet together they formed something whole. Your hive mind was a cage, Jack whispered. I'm showing you the key. I felt tears, alien chemical tears, burning at the edges of my consciousness. The beauty was unbearable. But then I sensed something else. Resistance, Volnar's presence, sharp and rigid, thrashing against the tide. No, his thought roared. This is corruption, I will not yield. Jack turned, his expression almost pitying. That's the beauty of it, director. You don't have to agree. Disagreement is part of the song. Volnar's presence recoiled, burning with fury. His voice lashed through the network. Protocol Terminus, destroy the hive before it is defiled. The words cracked across my mind like a thunderclap. Benakar's consciousness trembled beside mine. He wanted to believe Volnar. He wanted safety in silence. But I couldn't deny what I had seen, what I had felt. I disconnected, gasping as reality rushed back. My body convulsed, my vision blurred. Benakar hauled me upright. His voice was harsh. Did you see? Did you understand what you let inside you? I looked at him, my breath ragged. Yes, and it was beautiful. Benakar recoiled, horror flashing across his features. You are infected. No, I whispered. I am awake. Before he could answer, the chamber doors slammed open. Dozens of Zalaxians staggered in, their movements corrupted, their voices layered with human memory. Melissa, Devon, and others spoke in unison. You've seen the truth, Trellix. Now help us spread it. Benakar's grip on me tightened like a vice. We are leaving now. We crashed through a side exit, fleeing deeper into the tunnels. Behind us, human voices sang through alien throats. The melody echoed off the walls, following us. And somewhere deep in my mind, the song lingered. The tunnels shuddered as though alive with fever. Neural conduits along the walls pulsed erratically, glowing with chaotic rhythms that no Zalaxian engineer had ever designed. Human laughter echoed faintly, carried on the vibration of the organic infrastructure itself. Benakar dragged me forward, his grip desperate, his appendages trembling with exhaustion. You connected, he hissed, his voice raw. You let it inside you. I stumbled, still dizzy from the neural flood. I had to know. To know is to die, he snarled. His eyes darted wildly as if expecting Jack Porter's face to emerge from the walls. Protocol Terminus, only that can save us. The words chilled me. The thought of the entire hive mind collapsing, billions of my people reduced to fragmented individuals, was unthinkable. For Zalaxians, individuality was not freedom, it was exile. Without the hive, most of us could not function. Yet my mind replayed what I had seen in the link. Color, music, conflict, joy, life beyond efficiency. Was that truly death or something new? We burst from the tunnels into the mag-rail hub that connected the capital to the orbital elevators. Shuttles lined the trackways, their living hulls twitching in agitation, confused by corrupted signals from the hive network. Benakar slammed a palm onto the command node. The nearest shuttle shrieked, its bioluminescent veins flickering, then sagged open like a wounded creature. Inside, he barked. We clambered aboard, the organic seats writhing beneath us, their neural fibers twitching with contamination. The shuttle jerked violently, then launched down the rail with a screech. Through the translucent walls, the city rushed by. What had once been orderly architecture, smooth, identical spires pulsing in hive rhythm, was transforming. Walls shimmered with chaotic color patterns. Zalaxians filled the streets, some convulsing, some laughing, some dancing to music only they heard. Others huddled in groups, clutching one another, whispering in fragmented voices. The hive was fracturing. Benakar's breathing came ragged. They are lost, all of them. I couldn't answer. My chest burned with contradiction. Were they lost or found? The shuttle jolted violently. Ahead, another mag-rail car barreled toward us, but its movement was erratic. The driver was possessed, body twitching with human control. Jack's voice erupted from the shuttle walls around us. Going somewhere, Trellix. The oncoming shuttle swerved, slamming into the rails. Sparks of bioelectric energy exploded. Our car lurched violently, skidding sideways. Brace, Benakar shouted. The impact came like thunder. Our shuttle crashed against the rail walls, carapace shattering, living tissue shrieking in pain. The world spun, then everything went dark. I woke to fire. The shuttle lay crumpled on its side. Flames licked the walls, devouring neural tissue. Sparks spat from ruptured conduits. Binakar groaned beside me, half buried in twisted wreckage. I hauled him free, our bodies slick with bioluminescent fluids. Above us, through the broken canopy, the orbital elevator rose, a colossal pillar of living metal reaching into the sky, its structure thrumming with both Zalaxian rhythm and the alien chaos of human voices. The platform, Binakar croaked, we must climb. Alarms wailed through the city. Possessed Zalaxians swarmed the streets below, moving with unnatural rhythm. They turned toward us, their many voices overlapping with human tones. Come back, Trellix, they said, smiling with too many borrowed mouths. Join the song. Binakar grabbed my arm. Hurry. We scrambled into a service hatch at the base of the orbital elevator. The organic walls convulsed as if resisting our intrusion, the human infection spreading through their neural veins. We climbed. For hours or moments, time fractured, we ascended through maintenance shafts, past chambers filled with writhing conduits. Sometimes human voices whispered from the walls, tempting, cajoling. Sometimes screams of Zalaxians echoed as their minds fractured under the invasion. At one junction we paused. A control node pulsed nearby, its interface glowing faintly. I reached for it. Binakar shoved my hand away. No, do not connect again. I must see, I argued. If we are to fight this, I must understand it. If you link again, you will be theirs. His voice cracked. I will not lose you too. Before I could respond, movement stirred below. Possessed Zalaxians flooded the shaft, climbing unnaturally fast, their eyes glowing with human memories. At their head, Elder Pax's body, his ancient features twisted in Jack's smile. Almost there, Jack called up, his voice echoing from Pax and a dozen throats. You're doing so well, Trellix, don't fight it, let me in. It's easier that way. Binakar yanked me upward, faster. We burst onto a platform chamber high above the city. Through vast windows, the planet sprawled below us, Zalax Prime, glowing with chaotic new patterns. Across continents, neural conduits flickered with human rhythm. The infection was planetary. Binakar staggered to the control dais. He placed both appendages onto the node. The system pulsed, awaiting command. Protocol terminus, he said, his voice trembling. We end it now. I froze, the words carried finality. A planetary electromagnetic pulse would sever every neural conduit, collapse the hive mind forever. It would save us from human corruption, but leave us shattered, fragmented, less than what we were. Wait, I whispered, there may be another way. Binakar's eyes narrowed. You are compromised. No, listen to me. What if this isn't destruction? What if it is evolution? Evolution, his voice cracked with fury. Our people are being twisted into puppets. Or liberated, I shouted. The memory of the hive filled with colors and music burned inside me. For the first time, they can dream, create, imagine. Maybe this is what we were missing. Madness, Binakar hissed. The chamber doors slammed open. The possessed flooded in, dozens, hundreds, their movements sharp and unnatural. Elder Pax's body stepped forward, Jack's voice resonating. You don't need protocol terminus, Jack said. You need choice, that's what humans bring, the chance to be more than what you were. Binakar's hand hovered over the command node. His body shook with indecision. Don't listen, he cried, he lies. But Jack's human smile spread across alien faces. No lies, Trellix, just possibility. I stood between them, my deputy demanding annihilation, the human offering transformation. The song rose in my head again, chaotic, beautiful, terrifying. My appendages trembled as I turned toward the node. And chose. The command node pulsed beneath my hand, alive with potential. Binakar's appendages hovered above the surface, ready to strike the sequence for protocol terminus. One touch and the hive would collapse, severed forever. Behind us, the chamber filled with possessed Zalaxians, their movements sharp and uncanny. Jack Porter's voice came from every throat, layered with countless others. Go on, Jack coaxed. Do it if you think destruction is better than change, but ask yourself, is silence really safer than song? The words reverberated inside me, stirring the memory of what I had seen in the neural space. Music, dreams, conflict, hope, things our species had buried for millennia. Benakar's eyes burned with fury. Do not listen. It is poison. Trellix together activate terminus. My hand trembled. The node's bioelectric glow reflected off my skin. Jack's voices pressed closer. Your hive mind was efficient, but stagnant. No innovation, no wonder you've traded life for safety. Is that truly living? Living is surviving, Benakar shouted, his voice cracking with desperation. Without the hive, we are nothing. Without the hive, Jack said softly through Elder Pax's lips, you are individuals, and that terrifies you. The chamber pulsed with tension. Possessed Zalaxians circled us slowly, not attacking, waiting. I stared at Benakar, my closest ally, my deputy. His body trembled, his mind caught between loyalty and fear. He wanted me to choose silence because silence was familiar. But in my mind, human voices sang louder. I closed my eyes. I thought of the hive as it had been orderly, efficient, eternal. And then of what I had seen in Jack's presence, clashing ideas, disagreement, imagination. Not silence, but symphony. My hand pressed down. Not on the terminus sequence. On the override. The platform systems lit up in chaotic hues, streams of color racing across the neural conduits. The chamber shuddered, lights flickering. Benakar recoiled as if struck. What have you done? I chose, I whispered. Jack's voices erupted in laughter, not mocking but joyful. Yes, finally, someone willing to listen. You haven't destroyed yourselves, Trellix, you've opened the door. The possessed surged forward, but not to attack. They spread across the chamber, touching their neural ports to the walls, feeding more human consciousness into the network. I staggered back, overwhelmed as the orbital platform systems connected me again to the hive. This time it was different. Not assimilation, not control, synthesis. Millions of voices collided, human and Zalaxian, memory and logic, chaos and order. My mind filled with sensations I had never known. The heat of fire on bare skin, the sound of rain striking metal rooftops, the ache of loss, the ecstasy of creation. And through it all, Jack's presence guided me like a conductor. Do you see? He asked. I see, I gasped, but it's too much, it will tear us apart. Jack smiled in the space between thoughts. It only feels that way because you've never allowed difference. Harmony isn't sameness, Trellix. It's voices finding balance in their dissonance. I felt Volnar's presence nearby, rigid with fury. His thoughts burned like acid. This is corruption, you've doomed us all. But even his rage added texture to the song. Disagreement became part of the symphony. For the first time in my existence, I felt whole. The platform's windows glowed red as alarms blared. The planet below writhed with transformation. Entire cities shimmered with color, structures shifting as infected neural conduits pulsed with new rhythm. Zalaxians in the streets laughed, wept, fought, sang. Some collapsed in terror. Others embraced the chaos, painting their buildings with wild patterns, dancing in circles to unheard music. The hive was no longer one voice. It was billions. Benakar clutched his head, screaming, I can't, it's too loud. I grabbed him, forcing his gaze to mine. It's not noise, listen closer, do you hear the pattern? His body shook violently. It is madness. No, I whispered, it is possibility. Suddenly the orbital platform trembled. Exterior alarms roared. Jack's voice snapped through every speaker. Ah, looks like someone isn't happy with our little experiment. I turned to the viewport, my hearts froze. Orbital defense drones swarmed the sky, automated but still linked to hive directives. Volnar must have triggered them before the network shifted fully. The drones' spines glowed with lethal energy, targeting beams locked onto the platform. They'll annihilate us, Benakar cried. Jack's laughter echoed, not if I get there first. From the platform systems, I felt human minds surging outward, not just Jack, but Melissa, Devon, others. They raced along the conduits, hijacking control pathways. Through them, I glimpsed the drone systems, cold, efficient programming, now splashed with human chaos. One drone tilted, its targeting beam jerking wildly. Another swiveled, firing not at us but at its own squadmate. The sky erupted in chaotic fire. Beautiful, isn't it? Jack murmured in my mind. Conflict, adaptation, evolution in real time. The platform shook under shockwaves. Fragments of destroyed drones rained through the atmosphere, blazing like falling stars. But for every drone Jack hijacked, more kept coming. Volnar's voice cut through the hive, sharp and venomous. "You will not defile our world. I will burn this infection out, even if it costs us everything." His presence radiated pure authority, and countless uninfected Zalaxians rallied to him. Entire sectors of the planet seared themselves from the network, collapsing into silent voids. The fracture lines spread like cracks in glass. Jack hissed, his confidence faltering for the first time. "He's pulling them out faster than I can replace them. Trellix, I need you." "Me? You're still trusted, still part of the old hive. You can bridge it. Convince them before Volnar rips your world apart." The thought horrified me. Me, a single officer mediating between human chaos and Zalaxian order. I wasn't built for this. But then I remembered the music, the colors, the possibility. I met Binakar's terrified eyes. "Stay here, hold the platform, I must go back into the hive." His grip tightened on my arm. "If you go in again, you may not come back." I allowed myself a faint smile, an expression humans had taught me. "Then perhaps I will come back different." I touched the node and plunged into the neural space once more. It was no longer the sterile grid of thought it had once been. It was chaos incarnate. Millions of voices clashed, screamed, argued, laughed. Human memories bled into Zalaxian instincts. The hive mind was a storm. In its center, Volnar's presence towered like a black spire. He radiated command, holding countless Zalaxians tethered to him through fear of dissolution. Opposite him, Jack glowed with multitudes, a swarm of human identities woven together. I stepped between them. "Enough," my voice echoed louder than I thought possible. "This isn't destruction, it's transformation." Volnar's fury lashed out. "You are compromised, Trellix. Surrender yourself before you spread further." Jack countered, his voice warm, persuasive. "No, he's the bridge. He sees both sides." The hive trembled around us, on the brink of collapse. And all eyes turned to me. The neural space roared like a hurricane. Once the hive mind had been a calm ocean of order. Now it was a storm of voices, billions of them. Human laughter collided with Zalaxian commands. Memories of childhood homes and battlefields swirled with centuries of hive law. Dreams collided with fear. Music clashed with silence. And at the storm's center, two giants loomed. Director Volnar, rigid as stone, his consciousness forged into a spire of black authority. Every thought he projected carried command, order, unity, purged the infection. Opposite him, Jack Porter shone like wildfire, a swarm of human identities woven into his essence. He was not one voice, but hundreds, thousands, overlapping and contradicting, yet somehow moving as one living chaos. And between them, me. Trellix Noir, Chief Assimilation Officer, a functionary, a scientist, never a leader, yet now billions of eyes, alien and human alike, turned toward me. My consciousness trembled. "Trellix," Volnar's voice slammed into me like a hammer. "You are sworn to preserve the hive, destroy this abomination before it consumes us all." Then Jack's chorus surged. "No, Trellix, don't you see? The hive isn't dying, it's awakening. You can show them how to live with difference." Their voices clashed, ripping at my mind. I staggered in the storm. Fragments of human memory lashed against me, a child learning to ride a bicycle, a soldier falling in battle, a mother singing to her infant. At the same time, Zalaxian order pressed from the other side, the weight of tradition, law, the comfort of unity. I thought I would break. Then from deep within the chaos, I heard it again. The song, not silence, not cacophony, a pattern within the dissonance. I steadied myself. My voice rose, trembling but clear. "Enough." The storm paused. Even Volnar and Jack froze, their vast presences turning toward me. "We cannot go back," I said, forcing the words through the neural maelstrom. "The old hive is gone, but neither can we surrender to chaos. We must synthesize." Volnar's spire quaked with fury. "Synthesize with vermin, their chaos will tear us apart." Jack's wildfire swirled around me, eager but cautious. "He's right about one thing, Trellix. It will tear apart what you were, but isn't that the point, to become something new?" I turned to Volnar. Order without change is stagnation. That is why our species has not grown for millennia. You know it. You felt it. His spire lashed out, battering my consciousness with rage. Images slammed into me. The glory of the hive's efficiency, the perfection of unity, the pride of a civilization unmarred by conflict. Without order, Volnar thundered, we are nothing but animals. Jack's presence surged, wrapping around Volnar's spire like fire climbing stone. Without conflict, you are statues, unchanging, unthinking. Order needs chaos, just as chaos needs order. The storm trembled. Countless Zalaxians wavered, their minds pulled between fear and curiosity. I saw an opening. I reached out not with force, but with memory. Not mine, theirs. I projected what I had felt in the link. Music filling silence, colors bursting into sterile patterns, dreams blooming in minds that had never dreamed before. Zalaxians across the network gasped. For the first time, they saw what humans saw, the joy of imperfection, the beauty of difference. But Volnar struck again. His spire loomed higher, radiating terror. This is infection. Do not be deceived by glittering lies. He lashed the network with fear. Images of collapse filled the minds of our people, cities burning, families fractured, voices silenced. Billions trembled. Some recoiled from me, others clung to Volnar's darkness. I faltered, my strength waned. Then I felt a hand. Not physical, mental. Warm, calloused, Jack Porter's hand reaching across the storm. Don't fight alone, he said. We're good at that, humans, standing together when everything's falling apart. Behind him, more hands reached. Melissa's, Devon's. 1,000 others Jack carried in his memory, and to my shock, Zalaxian hands too, those who had tasted the new way, those who had dreamed. I gripped them. Our voices rose together. Not one, not identical, a chorus of difference. The storm shifted. Harmony bloomed within chaos. Volnar reeled as the pattern wrapped around him, fracturing his spire. No, you will destroy us all. You are wrong, I said. We are saving ourselves. Jack's wildfire surged with me, burning brighter. Together, we wove human chaos into Zalaxian order, creating something neither had ever known. The hive mind shook violently, fractures split across the storm. Then, light. Colors exploded. Voices sang. Not the sterile hum of old unity, nor the overwhelming clash of chaos, but a new harmony. Distinct voices, human and Zalaxian, weaving into symphony. But Volnar was not gone. His spire cracked but did not fall. He rose again, blazing with desperation. You think this harmony will last? He spat. It is fragile, conflict will tear it apart. Better silence than false hope. He struck the network core, the failsafe hidden deep within the hive. If he reached it, he could still trigger collapse. Jack lunged, but Volnar's fury was immense, a tidal wave of command. Even Jack faltered. Only I stood in Volnar's path. His presence towered over me, vast and merciless. Stand aside, Trellix, choose loyalty or be erased. My mind trembled, fear clawed at me. I was a scientist, not a warrior. I could not stand against him. But behind me, I felt them all. Jack, Melissa, Devon, billions of Zalaxians now singing their own voices. I straightened. My voice carried not one note, but many. I choose the song, and I hurled it at him. All of it human memory, Zalaxian instinct, the new symphony we had woven. It struck Volnar's spire like lightning. He screamed, a sound of rage, despair, and something else. Then he fell. The spire shattered into fragments, scattering across the storm. His voice faded into silence. For the first time in my life, Volnar was gone. The hive mind shuddered, not in collapse, but in rebirth. The storm calmed into rhythm. Billions of voices, distinct yet connected, clashing yet harmonizing. Jack appeared beside me, smiling that strange, human smile. You did it. I trembled, exhausted. No, we did it. But even as hope surged, a shadow lingered. Volnar's fragments still glowed faintly in the depths, scattered but not destroyed. And the question gnawed at me. Would our new song hold? Or would Volnar's prophecy prove true and conflict tear us apart? The answer would come soon. Because outside, in the physical world, the orbital defense grid was still burning, and the galaxy was beginning to notice. The storm of the hive receded, leaving me trembling in its wake. For the first time in my existence, the silence inside my mind was not empty. It was alive, filled with millions of voices, each distinct yet harmonizing. The old unity was gone. The new song had begun. I opened my eyes in the orbital platform's control chamber. My body sagged against the node, drained beyond measure. Binakar knelt beside me, his expression a mix of terror and awe. "You," his voice quivered, "you survived." I met his gaze. "No, we survived." Through the viewport, I saw the planet below. Zalek's prime glowed with strange new lights. Cities pulsed with color. Structures that had been uniform now shimmered with wild, uneven patterns. In the streets, Zalexians moved not with identical rhythm, but each with their own cadence. Some danced, some argued, some stood alone, lost in thought. The hive mind had not ended. It had changed. Jack's voice spoke inside me, softer now, threaded through the new chorus. "Looks like your people are adjusting." "Some," I admitted. "Others will resist. Volnar's followers still cling to silence." Binakar stiffened. "Volnar may be gone, but his fragments remain. They whisper in the network, seeds of fear." He was right. I could feel them, faint but persistent. Volnar's voice echoing in shadows, order or collapse, silence or ruin. The harmony trembled at the edges. And then alarm screamed. The platform shook violently, throwing us to the floor. Through the viewport, a vast shadow fell across the planet. I staggered to my feet, my hearts lurched. A fleet. Dozens of alien vessels, their hulls gleaming silver, orbiting above. Massive, angular, bristling with weapons. The Galactic Consortium. Jack's voice whispered grimly, "Oh hell, they've noticed." The communication array flared. A hologram filled the chamber, a towering figure cloaked in ceremonial armor, its features sharp and cold. "Zalexians," the envoy intoned. "Your signal has reached across the stars. We have detected contamination of your hive. Declare now, have you fallen to external control?" Binakar hissed, "They think we've been conquered." The envoy's eyes glowed harshly. "By law of the consortium, infected worlds are to be cleansed. Resistance will not be tolerated." The fleet's weapons charged, casting a deadly light across the orbital platform. Panic rippled through the hive. Billions of Zalexians screamed in fear. The new song faltered. Jack's voice sharpened. "They'll fire if we don't prove ourselves." "How?" I asked. My limbs trembled, not from exhaustion this time, but from terror. "Sing louder," Jack said simply. I stepped forward, projecting my voice through the hive, through the platform systems, through the consortium's channels. "We are not conquered," I declared. "We are becoming." The envoy sneered. "Your unity is broken, your song is tainted." "No," I answered, "it is enriched." I opened my mind fully. I let the consortium hear not silence, not order, but harmony. Through me flowed billions of voices. Zalexians arguing, laughing, creating, human memories weaving with alien instincts, music blooming where none had existed, chaos balanced by rhythm, conflict tempered by connection. A symphony, the human song. The envoy staggered, momentarily overwhelmed, but then his eyes narrowed. "Difference breeds war, conflict breeds ruin. This will not stand." The fleet's weapons flared. Jack surged through me, his voice fierce. "Then show them what conflict can create." The orbital platform systems pulsed with new rhythm. Defense drones swarmed, no longer mindless extensions of order, but guided by chaotic ingenuity. They wove patterns of flight never seen before, unpredictable and alive. The consortium fleet opened fire. Energy beams tore through space. The drones countered not with perfect formations, but with wild, adaptive maneuvers. They collided, scattered, regrouped, attacked again. For every drone destroyed, two more found a new tactic. Chaos itself became strategy. I felt human minds guiding them. Soldiers Jack remembered, engineers, tacticians. Their instincts flowed through the hive, teaching us how to fight not with unity, but with creativity. The battle raged like fire in the sky. Binakar clung to the console, his body shaking. "We cannot hold, their fleet is too strong." "Then we don't hold," I said. "We change." I reached deeper into the hive, calling every voice. Not just Zalexians, not just humans, but the synthesis we had become. "Sing with me," I cried. And they did. Billions of voices poured into the network, shaping weapons, drones, ships, even the orbital platform itself. Structures shifted, grew, adapted mid-battle. What had been static machines became living extensions of our new hive, unpredictable, evolving, alive. The consortium fleet faltered. Their rigid formations broke under the tide of chaos. And then, through the enemy comms, I heard it. Whispers, confusion, fear, but also curiosity. Some of their minds had connected, however faintly, to our song, and already they were hearing it. Jack laughed inside me. Oh, now this is interesting. The flagship wavered, its weapons dimmed. The envoy's hologram flickered, his voice strained. What have you done? I stood tall, every voice within me surging in unison. We showed you what it means to be alive, not silence, not sameness, but harmony and difference, the song of possibility. The envoy's form shook, his eyes blazed with conflict. Then, impossibly, he smiled. The fleet withdrew. Silence fell in orbit, broken only by the trembling rhythm of our own breathing. Binakar collapsed beside me, his body shivering with exhaustion. We survived. Yes, I whispered, but more than that, we began. Through the hive, I felt it spreading not just across Zalex Prime, but outward, to the consortium ships, to the stars beyond. The song would not be contained. Jack's voice settled gently in my mind. Told you, Trellix, there's nothing quite like being human. I smiled, truly smiled, for the first time in my life. No, there's nothing quite like being us. Epilogue, a new symphony. Days became cycles, the world transformed. Zalexians no longer moved in perfect sync. Some danced in the streets. Some painted their dwellings. Some argued fiercely over new ideas. For the first time in millennia, our planet was alive with creativity. Not all embraced it. Some clung to silence, to fragments of Volnar's shadow. But even their resistance added texture to the song. Debate, disagreement, once feared, had become part of our strength. And beyond our skis, the galaxy listened. Curious voices reached out from other species, drawn by the strange new signal of harmony and chaos. The human song had begun on Zalex Prime, but it would not end here. For we were no longer merely Zalexian, no longer merely human. We were something new. A symphony, and the galaxy would hear it.